Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Stylish Leadership. My name is Matthew Simmons, your host from SimmonsEssentials.com. Go check it out. Also, go check out DangerSpaceMedia.com. I have my guest here, my friend and guest, Melissa Chartier. She is here, and we're going to talk about life lessons you didn't learn in school. So there you go. You can go check her out at Melissa Chartier. Did I pronounce it right?
You did.
.com.
You did great.
Perfect.
If not, I would have kicked you under the table.
No, hey, we don't want that. We don't want that. So we're going to talk about life lessons you didn't learn in school, which is pretty much most of them.
Mm-hmm.
So just let's tell a little bit about yourself, your backstory, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. So a little bit about my backstory is that I say that certain things in my life have changed quite drastically. So I used to get made fun of for how I looked, and then I now got paid for how I looked. I used to be very, very poor, live literally paycheck to paycheck, dollar to dollar. Then later I was able to save money, was able to actually have money. But I think the moral of the story is that, right, I mean, nothing changes. Right. You just get a different set of problems.
Yeah.
So that's just how I look at it, is you just have to be good with you. But a lot of my foundation for my life were things that I learned. Yeah. And things you're not taught in school. Right. Because not that everybody loves trigonometry, because who doesn't?
Right.
Said no one ever. But a lot of people just don't have life skills, social skills.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's, I think, a big problem with education today, is because you're taught school skills but not life skills, and then we go to culture, and then we're taught that it's portrayed that, oh, once you have all this, then life will be good.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case. You know, different levels, different problems.
Yes.
So
it's definitely, so I say, like, one funny perspective is that I was always struggled with my weight. So I was overweight for a long time and got picked on and made fun of, and all of those things was basically like the ugly duckling, right? And so then when I lost weight, and it's a whole nother story, but when I lost weight and basically transformed myself, well, it's crazy because I got asked out more when I was overweight, had a better social life. I get looked at more now and asked out less. So it's really funny how that is. And then people would be like, oh, because you're intimidating, or because blah, blah, blah. And I think that's kind of a really bad excuse. But you just get a different set of problems. So now before, now you have a harder time meeting girlfriends, because girls are like, oh my gosh, she's going to try and take my boyfriend, or she's going to try and take my husband, or she's too pretty, or you can't be pretty and smart, or you just get a different set of problems.
Yeah.
That's the point.
And it's odd that you say that, and we can cover that. We'll do a dating and relationship episode, so stay tuned for that one. But we'll kind of touch on is that because I used to be that way, but I used to be the guy that no one looked at because I didn't think I was attractive, and I was the skinny guy. Well, still am, but I was the skinny guy who didn't think I was attractive looking. Now I'm a skinny guy who knows I look good, but it's weird because there was a day when no one looked at me, but now I walk around in public, and sometimes I notice that guys, if they're with their wife, they look at me kind of like, who's that guy, coming, and then the girl will be like, I can't look at him because I don't want him to be, well, why are you looking at him? I kind of get it too, not all the time, but like, now I feel like I have, in some guys' minds, I have become the guy who could steal their wife or their girlfriend, and I'm just like, I'm just here looking good, enjoying life.
Well, and it's funny that because most of the time I would never notice. So my friends would laugh, and they would say, like, how in the world, like, that person talked to you for 5 minutes? How did you not know they were hitting on you? And I'm like, I don't know. I just thought they were nice. So you still are the same person in this shell. I'm still this, like, 8-year-old girl that had nowhere to sit on the bus that got made fun of. It took me a long time to even take a compliment. If someone's like, oh, you look really pretty, and just to say thank you, where I always wanted to go like, no, whatever, no way, and basically brush it off and push it back. So that's kind of where I come from, is just a story of how your outside can change, how your finances can change. But really, we always think, especially as girls, we always think like, well, if I were taller, if I were skinnier, if I had a bigger bust, if I had a better butt, if I had longer legs, if I were tan, my life is going to be so much better.
Yeah.
And so the difference is yes, like, my life is great, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't solve your problems. So you're constantly going to strive. So even if you lose weight and you think you're just going to have men lined up around the block, and then you don't have men lined up around the block, well, okay, well, maybe I need lipo, or maybe I need, and we kind of internalize that, and that's normal. I'm still my toughest critic, right? All the time.
Always.
And I struggle with it all the time.
Always, yeah.
But the moral is that I've just had to learn to really be okay with myself, which is I'm a work in progress.
Oh, aren't we all? But
big time, big progress, big work. But I think that's what's important, is that not necessarily is there just this patch and it's just going to fix it all. you're just going to get a different set of problems, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the grass is always greener on the other side. Well, that's not true. It just might be different grass.
Yeah.
You know?
Or there may be more fertilizer over there.
Oh, there's a lot more fertilizer over there. If you know what I mean? Organic. Fertilizer.
Yes. All natural fertilizer.
Yes. Has a lovely smell, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's piles of it. And unfortunately, I think there's piles of it in people's lives because then they like to compare their imperfections with someone else's photoshopped image.
Sure.
And they will go and they'll look at, and Hollywood's a horrible example to compare yourself to.
Yeah.
But
We all
also,
do, yeah.
you know, but you look at it, and there's cities in this area, there's cities around the country where pretty much, and they're usually the higher end cities, and it's just lined with plastic surgeon offices just down the road because it's almost like that's the number one doctor's office in the town.
It is. And I mean, and if they're willing to give me free services, I'll highly. No, I mean, the point is, it's true. But, you know, it's just a different set of pressures, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes where you live, but it's also just being real with yourself and being able to laugh at yourself and not take yourself too seriously, even though sometimes I do. I mean, there's times I have good days and I have bad days. You know, of course, there's times that I'm like, why in the world am I sitting at home on a Friday night? Like, I should have like things to do. And then there's other times that I'm like, I'm so thankful that I can just be in my home and surrounded by I'm a dog mom, but not a crazy dog mom, borderline crazy, but not totally crazy dog mom.
There's a border, and I'm right on that edge.
There is a borderline. And so I sit there and I say, you know, I stopped rescuing men and I started rescuing dogs, right? I mean, they're unconditional. We always think we can change guys. That's a whole nother topic. We think like, oh, for us, they'll be great and we can change them. That's not true. However, so I think that one of the things I always want to encourage, especially girls, women, boys, anyone in general, is we all have an ism, right? We all have something that we feel insecure about. Whether for me, it was my weight. For somebody else, it could be their teeth. It could be I have to wear glasses. There's always something. And I get it, and I empathize with them so greatly because I know how hard that is when you're going through those things and when you feel like you're all alone and you feel like you're an outcast and
Right.
no one likes you or, you know, you're not going to be accepted. And I just want to encourage like all those kids and those people in general. So what can you do about it? And really, I try and, you know, fill myself with positive things most of the time. I do have a couple like really trashy shows I like to watch, but that's being real, you know.
Hey, let's do
but
it.
I try and fill myself with
real.
positive things. And the other thing is surround yourself with good people. So
Yeah.
there's different little lessons, caveats I've learned. And you are a product of who you hang around. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. Sometimes the bad people are really fun. You have a really good time.
Yeah. that's
And then you're going to get
unfortunate.
into really big trouble eventually.
Yeah.
So, and also learning, you know, I really want to encourage, I say girls especially. I've even had women friends that are my age and a little older who, like their husbands took care of everything. So we'd be sitting around and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, my water bill was so high last month. What was yours? Oh, you know, and I'm like, oh man, you know, I don't know. Did your car insurance go up? Like, this is crazy. What's yours? Oh, literally knew nothing. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, it doesn't matter what you're going to do, but you need to know how to run your own show and what your money is being spent on and how to save your money. You know, that was the one thing that I was able to do and do well was manage my finances. So that way I don't have this stress anymore of being like one paycheck away or, oh my gosh, I better go and get like a bag of beans because if I eat the beans, that's like meals for like 4 days. And you know, I tell people, like, when you're broke, there are no extras. So it really frustrates me, my friends that are poor people and complain about how much money they don't have. But you know what? They're at every concert.
Yeah.
They've got nicer TVs than I do.
Yeah. They have nice stuff, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't have a nice lifestyle, and they don't have. Yeah, it's that financial independence thing, and I think that's one thing: be independent, but don't be isolated.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part because I see a lot of people they try to be independent, and they didn't become isolated and almost become too good for other people. And that
that's true.
That might be more in the dating thing.
Well, yeah. Or you can be the person like me who, after you have a series of like bad failed relationships, if you will, and especially the older you get, like when you're young, like you, nice and innocent and young, the world's still at your fingertips. You got time, you know. I always thought I had time, and we'd be like, "Oh, I'm 25, then I'm 30. Oh, I still have time." Next thing I know, I'm 35. You know, and you're like, what is happening? Where did time go? So, coming out of relationships, what I have to work on, especially with the recent one that I've come out of, which is a couple episodes in itself. However,
Hey.
I will say, because it's harder to make a change than it is to stay the same. You know, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those deals that you have to like know what you're going to tolerate and know what you won't, and be strong enough to handle all of those, but also just know who you are. And then for me, I want to sit there and go, I want to do the opposite and be like, I don't trust anybody. Well, I can't be that way.
Yeah.
But I do think that a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I'm working on that. I'm
Yeah.
working on that.
Yes.
My thoughts. I've got to get my thoughts right.
Yeah.
But you do. You come out of things sometimes and you're like, I can't trust anybody. Like, why do I even want to open my life up and have
Yeah.
people in my life? And that's the same with friendships. It's any relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, you know, I say there's two kinds of people. There's selfish and selfless.
Yeah.
And it's very rare in this world to find people that are really selfless anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of selfish,
Yeah.
no matter what age they are.
Yeah.
They don't change. They just get older. Just remember that.
Yes. And then they become more experienced.
Yeah, they do. They become better, aka sociopath.
They become better at it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know, in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and go right into our next episode. Thanks for watching this one. In the next one, we're going to talk about relationship advice with Melissa.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you for watching.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. And remember, guys and ladies, you're fearfully, wonderfully made. You are somebody who can own your own style and be a stylish leader. That's what stylish leadership is all about. So own your own style, my friends. You're fearfully, wonderfully made. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace.